Hello YouTubers, Podman46 here, coming at you with how to use your Microsoft stereo headset adapter with some PC gaming headset. I'm using a Logitech G230 gaming headset, and if you want surround sound, I'm also going to go over how to use a Turtle Beach Earforce DSS and an Earforce DSS2. Alright, first things first, you're going to need to install your gaming headset adapter on your controller, and then you'll be hooking it up, if it's your first time, via USB cable so it can upload the firmware on your controller to accept the stereo headset. Now for the G230 here, it has a separate microphone jack here, as you can see from the microphone, and headphone jack here, as you can see from the little headphone on there. This is pretty commonplace with all PC headsets. If you have like Xbox 360 style headsets that use RCA jacks for your audio, you can still use them. You'll need to get the RCA to 3.5mm adapter, so that it'll basically turn those RCA headphones into one of these plugs here. Now, after you have two 3.5mm plugs that are both coming from your headset, be it through adapters or whatever, you're going to need one of these adapters here that'll take a separate microphone and a headphone jack down to a single 4-pole TRRS CTIA protocol plug. And the two protocols that are made right now are CTIA, which is what the Xbox uses, and OMTP, which will not work on the Xbox. So if you have an OMTP adapter like this, you'll have to buy an additional adapter that will switch it from OMTP protocol to CTIA. Now once you have that done and you plug both of these wires from your headset into this, you can plug this then directly into the controller and you'll have stereo headsets working perfectly fine. Nothing else is needed. I bought a TRRS 4-pole style extension just to plug in to make it a little easier to hook up to the controller, so I didn't have this big bulky adapter sticking like all the way out down here. Have a little play. I would have preferred to have gotten one that has like a 90-degree turn, but I didn't feel like waiting weeks to get it from Hong Kong when I was able to get this one fairly locally right away. And like I said, this wire here is completely optional. It's just if you don't want to have the adapter plugged directly into your controller. Now, to get to the Dolby surround sound setup for your speakers, this will also work for people that have like the fancy like $150, $200 surround sound headsets. The same principle applies to you guys. If your surround sound adapter has an auxiliary in that overlays audio over top of your digital input, you will be able to use your microphone on your headset. But if it's like this DSS, the first version here that only has an analog in and a digital in, you will not be able to use the microphone on your headset to chat and still be able to hear what people are saying. You will have to use the kinect for your microphone, which is perfectly fine for most games, but games such as COD Ghosts and Titanfall do not allow you to use the kinect for chat. But Battlefield 4 does, so if you have those fancy surround sound headsets, go ahead, use them on like Battlefield 4 and just use the kinect as your microphone. Now, as far as showing you how to hook this up, I'll start out with the original Earforce DSS, which would be like most of the surround sound headsets that are out on the market. Gonna plug in the USB power and the optical. And then over on the console, I'm going to plug in the optical. And the USB. Alright, now you can see that it is lit up. It's sensing the digital in and the Dolby digital. I am then going to take the headphone jack, which again, as I showed you for these headsets, has the headphone marking on it. I have an extension on it just because I play kind of far away from my TV. And that headphone jack here is going to plug straight into the headphone output. And that is all that is required to get surround sound audio coming out of your headset here. But like I said, you will have to use the kinect for your microphone with this Earforce DSS setup. Or if you have other headsets that have their own receivers that do not have an auxiliary input. Now, I'll take the Earforce DSS2 here, switch over the USB power, the optical, and the headphone jack. Okay, so as of right now, it is wired up exactly the same way as the original Earforce DSS was here. In this setup, I would still need to use the kinect for the microphone. Now, the trick here that I found how to get this to work with an auxiliary input on the DSS2 is if you come back here to my adapter, I have the microphone jack, as I showed you, coming in on this 2-to-1 adapter. And what this adapter is doing is it's taking that microphone, sending it through this 4-pole style, because normally on these PC ones they're only a 3-pole style, which if I plug this microphone jack straight into that controller, it would not work. So the microphone is plugged in there and it's going into the controller, so that's giving me my microphone feed in there. Once something's plugged into this controller, it'll send all chat audio to the controller, whether you have headphones hooked up to it or not. That's why people can hear you talking on the mic with this setup when you're plugged in like this using the microphone on your headset, but you can't hear them talking back because it's sending the audio to your headset, to the controller, and you don't have anything hooked up to hear it because you're trying to get the surround sound. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking a line here that's going on the headphone input where you would normally have plugged in the headset from your, the earphones from your headset here into it, but instead I'm running a 3.5mm dual male plug from there into the auxiliary input on the back of the DSS2. So this is taking the sound from the chat of the controller and it's going to allow it to bypass through here so you can still hear chat audio. So then with this, we still got the the headphone plugged into the front of here. So we're getting both the audio that's surround sound and the chat audio, both coming through the DSS2 into the headphone. And when I hook this up now, you can see on the screen that as I talk, the microphone's working and it's all good. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have like Triton headsets that have auxiliary inputs, or like any of the other fancier surround sound headsets, as long as you have this auxiliary in, you can do what I did, where you piggyback your chat audio into the system here and have it feed out. The adapter I used again to get the CTIA was from Radio Shack. It was like about $5. And its part number was, get a good shot here, 2740031. And that should be everything. If you liked what you saw and I helped you out at all, just give me a like, comment on my post if you have any questions, and I'll get back to you with the best help I can. Enjoy.